Prime Minister Mark Carney has touched down in Beijing. The first time a Canadian Prime Minister has landed in the Chinese capital in 8 years. And let's bring in CTV News political analyst Scott Reid to learn more about the high-stakes visit. Good morning to you.
Morning.
Okay, Scott, tell us, why is this visit so crucial for our relationship with China?
Well, two reasons. First of all, with respect to China, obviously we've been in the deep freeze of relations diplomatically for almost a decade now. Security issues, IP being stolen, and of course, when our two diplomats were jailed unjustly. So on the one hand, we want to try to renew and emerge with a stronger relationship with China. But on the other hand, we're there because of the United States. We're there because of Donald Trump. Because if Donald Trump is going to say you can no longer count on the ability to sell into the largest market in the world, which is the United States, and naturally we got to start to look at other markets, and China is the second largest in the world. So that's why we're there.
And Scott, you have been on a Prime Minister's visit to China 21 years ago with Prime Minister Paul Martin.
That's true. And, much like this trip, first we met with the Chinese premier, then you meet with the Chinese president, state dinner, a series of MOUs, but the conditions are so radically different. Prime Minister Carney is really having to thread a diplomatic and trade needle here, because we have a situation where we want to thaw relations with China. We want them to buy more of, say, our energy as an example, but we don't want to invite them in so closely that it creates security issues on the one hand, or triggers the anger and the ire of Donald Trump as we set to renegotiate Canada-US-Mexico free trade. It's an incredibly delicate balance that the Prime Minister is having to strike these 2, 3, 4 days.
And as we heard, this is the first time that a Canadian PM has visited the country in 8 years, and a lot has changed since then. What do you think will be the primary topics of conversation between the Canadian and Chinese leaders?
Let's start with what it won't be. In the past, there's been a tremendous amount of focus on human rights because China can be such an abusive state. Now, those concerns have not abated, and they will be posed. But the principal focus of this meeting, the principal focus of this visit, will be economic. It will be about trade. So issue number one, they've slapped 100% tariff on our canola, on a bunch of our agricultural products. Can we get, if not a complete diminution of them, some easing of the schedule of tariffs on that? And in turn, they want us to ease tariffs on EV vehicles. But this is a perfect example of the tensions I was talking about. Because if we were to reciprocate and ease in any significant way the tariffs on electric vehicles coming from China, that would cause both the Canadian auto sector to be very upset, and it would certainly send Trump into a tailspin. So again, the Prime Minister's gonna have to balance. What's the right exact measure? How much can you ease some of those tariffs without creating new economic and diplomatic and political problems?
And how do you think they'll be factoring Donald Trump and the U.S. into their conversations?
Hey, it's 2026. Donald Trump barges into every room, every conversation, every single bit of strategy that is conducted in any capital. The truth is, we have to think about him constantly. We know that Donald Trump is saying, on the one hand, hey, you know what, Canada, you can't count on us anymore. We're not going to buy as much of your stuff. But on the other hand, he's also reserving the right to deny us the ability to sell into other markets, particularly China. So it's going to be a constant tension, as I mentioned. My guess is we'll see today. There've already been some memorandum of understanding, much to like advanced dialogue. I think when we meet with President Xi tomorrow, we'll see perhaps something closer to let's begin a process of lowering tariffs, but do it gradually on a scale. So you show progress on the one hand, but not such an immediate thaw of relations that Donald Trump becomes threatened, angered, and therefore abusive.
Thank you, Scott, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.